Welcome to Retro Scale Modelling. This is part 5 of Imai's Maru scale 1 to 350. In this part I'm going to be carrying on with the deck. I'm going to be placing in one or two little bits pieces onto the deck and placing on the foredeck as well. So let's jump into this and see how well I get on. The first thing I'm doing is marking out the portholes. Now the instructions say to paint these blue, and I did have a little go at painting them blue, but I didn't like it. So I repainted the white, and then I'm just using my pencil now to score inside the porthole to bring them out with the graphite instead. I think it comes up a lot better than the blue paint. Why it's blue, I don't know. I'll just hold up to the camera, maybe you can see them sort of standing out a little bit. It's a lot better than a solid contrast colour like a blue. Now I've got to paint the hull line. So I'm using my masking tape for this. I'm using very thin strips of masking tape. Now, full disclosure, I forgot to varnish the paint before doing this. So I'm going to be having a bit of paint uplift when I take the varnish off. It's another mistake that I made, one of many on this build, unfortunately. Once the masking tape is down, I'm painting over it with the same background colour, so the white. This will stop any paint blink from occurring when I put on the line colour. For the main colour, I wasn't sure. It's not black and it's not red, so I went in between and I used the 37 reddish brown by River aqua colour once more. That's the same colour I used for the mahogany substitute. Again, I'm not sure whether it's the right colour. The instructions don't tell you what colour it should be, and the paint guide, it is good, but it doesn't really show what colour it should be. But I think it's all in between colour. I think it works. Now on the mold there is an actual raised area for this line to be painted onto, so even though I use the masking tape, you can probably get away with not putting the masking tape on, but I wasn't that comfortable doing it that way because of how the other painting is going. So I decided to use the masking tape, but I think the sort of reddish brown colour does stand out better than the other colours that I mentioned. So it's time to remove the masking tape, and I didn't get any paint bleed, which was good. But as I said, some of the white did lift off with the masking tape because I didn't varnish it. That's really a beginner's mistake. But again, it's good to highlight these things to show you how not to do it as such. All it meant was that I just went over the areas with a fine paintbrush and reapplied the white. So it's now time to add some of the finishing to the deck. What I've got here, I've got two of these. They're two little strips of plastic, and they go right at the bottom of the deck here. And they act as sort of like wooden strips along the side panel of the deck and the floor itself. Before I can add the afterdeck, I've got to put the valve sprout in. So this is what I'm doing now. This is location point has already got an angled area for it to be pushed into, so you don't have to worry about trying to get the correct angle. It's already molded into the plastic for you. Unfortunately, the kit doesn't come with any dead eyes, pulleys or turnbuckles that you would normally put in when you're rigging a ship. So even though they would have been minuscule, I think it's a shame that the kit doesn't come with them. I've got a few on my rigging drawer, but I haven't got any at this scale, so I'm not going to try and fashion any because it'd just be too small for my eyes. But which is unfortunate, but I think it'll look all right in the end anyway. The deck went on fairly standard. There was no gapping issues when it went on, which was nice, and the valve split fitted in really well in between the two. So once they're in, it was time to add some various captions and that. There's a few of these various sizes and that. Each one does have its own little location points. These are the inner funnel things that go on. Can't quite remember the actual technical name for these, but there's one or two of these that go in as well. I'm starting off from the forward position and working my way back to the aft of the deck. So I'm putting as much as possible on the foredeck, then just working my way down. What I've got here is one of the guardrails for the mast. Now, it has four little legs. One of the legs had come off. It was already off when it was on the sprue. So I'm going to have to replace that. And it's simply just stretched out a bit of off-cut sprue like that. I just heated it up and pulled it to the desired thickness. And I'm just going to add that one. Once it dries, I'll cut it to length. These are not going on until later on in the build anyway, so I'm glad I noticed it now. And there was only one that had broken off. There's a lot of control box. Mr. Hobby 24 gloss orange yellow. The two halves are just placed together. And then while that was drying, I was able then to place on some more of the deck furniture. Again, more capstans and things like that going on. For a small kit, there's quite a lot of these to put on. It's quite a pleasure to put them on, even though they're small and can be at times difficult to handle. To have this much level of detail in such a small kit is quite joyous. And I should point out as well, the various size of capsules, each of them will have a different size location point as well. So even if you take them all off the sprue in one go, that sometimes people do, including myself, it's quite easy sometimes to get them in the wrong position. But because of the location points are different sizes, this helps with that a great deal. Here I'm placing in one of the handrails. This is quite a small rail. It goes right in at the bow. The next part to go on is a capstan with a jib stay on it. Now this is meant to be connected to inner and outer jib sails, but I'm not actually putting the sails on. I'm just going to be doing the rigging, so this won't actually be attached to anything. Next is the anchors, and I used Tamiya's X1 black to paint these. I was thinking about doing them a different shade of black, but I didn't think it really mattered. As long as the black colour, it should be fine. And then the little controller box. I think it's a control box. I'm not entirely sure. It might be a little cabin. As I say, I'm not sure. I suspect it's probably a cabin thinking about it. So we just tap it up at an angle, so hopefully you can see everything on there. So now it's on to the main funnel, and the two halves are placed together. This is going to need a clamp just to hold it tight until it dries. And that's mainly due to its awkward shape. It didn't take much pressure to close it, but it's just because it was a difficult shape to hold close in one go. I painted the funnel in the H24 gloss orange yellow by Mr. Hobby, but the top part is Tamiya's X1 black. And it's just the top of the funnel. There's another part that goes on top of that as well, but there's just a little border at the top that needs to be painted also. Then once the paint's dry, there's a section that's got to be added to the funnel. This is a little ladder section that gets slotted in. I was surprised at the design of this. It's quite a deep recess for this to go in. The fit's very good, but I was surprised it wasn't all moulded into one. And to close off part 5, I'm using Tamiya's Rhythm Master Series B and the rust component to once more go over the raised area for the ladders to make them stand out. So if you haven't done so already, why don't you check out the channel for my other builds, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, that way you'll be kept up to date not only with this build but all my other builds as well, of course. Hit the like button, don't be afraid to leave a comment, and of course you can share the video. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.